How's everybody doing out there? Tonight, I want to talk about Pokemon Go. And what I'd like to say about Pokemon Go is that I'm sure by now most people have heard about it. It's a new phenomena, and what it is, it's augmented reality, virtual reality game. And what it is, and what the real advancement in this game is that you're no longer just playing on a computer or on a phone. It's including the real world too. So the app or the game actually goes out and you include the physical world into playing the game, which is a step forward into using um, more of our physical world to play these games. Now, I know a lot of people think that gaming is a big fad or maybe waste of time or it's just a kid thing. I used to think the same thing. But the more I've gotten into what I do, I realize how important gaming is. And what gaming really is, in fact, a lot of the advancements that are taking place in computer or IT or information is done through gaming. Gaming is kind of like how this progresses and how this increases and how things get better is through gaming. Because what gaming really is trying to do is it's trying to recreate reality. The more the more closer to reality the game is, the more likely people will play the game and be addicted to the game and continue to, and the more that the technology tries to improve to better the game. And so the game is really kind of uh, what feeds all this technology, if that makes any sense. But that's the way it is. And I want to bring in something else that's very interesting to me, and I've talked about this before, is this what happened at Code Conference with Elon Musk. Elon Musk said in Code Conference that there's a 99% chance that we aren't in base reality. And I know I talked to a friend of mine about this one time, and he thought I misheard it. He thought what Elon was saying was that we 99% that we are in base reality and not in some augmented uh, virtual reality simulation. But I argued with him a little bit. I said, no, I've heard him say this before. And actually, he has said this before this Code Academy Code Conference. He actually has said this a couple, maybe at least one other time I heard it before, I think a year or two ago. So he has said this before. And if you haven't heard him say this, I would encourage you to listen to the tape or listen to this clip. And it's really kind of awkward because if you listen to the clip, obviously the two moderators have no clue what he's talking about. And the person that asked the question from the audience, he's a little bit unsure, and he is kind of trying to go somewhere with it. But Elon just kind of throws it out there, and it's so out there and so incredibly distant for most people, they don't even know how to react to it. It's almost everybody stunned by his saying this. And what he's saying is that there's a 99% chance that we're not in base reality, meaning this is not reality, what we think is reality. This is not what really is reality. That there's some other reality going on in some other place that is reality, and this is not the base reality. And this is so overwhelmingly, it's such a deep, thing that most people can't even respond to it. And that's kind of what happens here. And he doesn't really elaborate too much either. He just kind of throws it out there and really doesn't say too much of it after that. But before you think Elon's too crazy and that we're living in a simulation, I want to, give my weigh in on this too and tell you what I think. Actually, I think what he says is got a lot of credibility. And let me explain why I think it's got a lot of credibility. When he says that we're not in base reality, that there's some other reality going on someplace else, actually, that is very compatible with a lot of other belief systems. And I think it's compatible with a Christian belief system too. And let me explain why. If there's other realities going on, parallel realities going on some other time, some other place, some other way, then that would explain other dimensions. And one of the dimensions that Christianity talks about is a heaven, which is where people go if they're good, and there's hell where people go if they're bad. So those two realities have to be going on at the same time our reality is going on. So there's more than one reality going on. These alternate realities going on all at the same time, which means that maybe the reality that we're in isn't base reality, and some other supernatural or some other dimension is reality, and we're just kind of in the simulation, like Elon says. And I actually think what he says makes a lot of sense, especially given the fact that you know, there is so much about our physical world that can be duplicated, and that's what's going on with a lot of this gaming, and a lot of what's going on with this Pokemon Go, is they can really get so close to the real world with these simulations that they're indistinguishable. And that's where Elon says this is going. This is going to an indistinguishable reality from our own reality. So he said, if we can duplicate that, then what makes us think that what we live in is reality? Which is a really interesting point. And then what I'm trying to say is that it's compatible with belief systems that say there are other realities going on in other places, with the belief in a belief system that there's a heaven and then there's a hell, there's a good place, there's a bad place, that all these things could be going on at the same time, and that this is not the base reality, that there is another reality that is controlling over this one. I actually think that makes a lot of sense. But I think that this Pokemon Go game is just another step, another leap forward into this ability to recreate reality, a virtual reality, through a game. And you're going to see more of this. And you're going to see it get a lot better and a lot quicker and a lot faster and a lot more reality into it. And it's going to take up a lot of people's energy, time, and resources, because that reality that they're playing, that game that they're playing, is actually becomes their reality. I don't know if that makes any sense or not, but this is really an interesting question, and it's really something that I think is needs to be. I don't know if it needs to be thought about, but it's just something that really does kind of explain our existence in kind of a mysterious way. Don't discount what Elon Musk says. Elon Musk is I've followed him for a long time, and I've listened to a lot of what he has to say. He's definitely on a plane, on a thinking level much greater than most everybody else. He is very intuitive. He's a very he's a great thinker. He's a great intellectual mind of our time. I think as time goes on, he'll be proven not to be, with the Tesla and with all the stuff that he's done. The guy really is a genius. He just really is a genius. So anyway, I just thought I'd throw this out for a little mental exercise on a Sunday evening. And like I say, one of the good things about my channel is I can say whatever I want to say. I don't have very many viewers. I don't have very many people watch it, so I don't really have any constraints as far as what I say and what I believe. So I find this all very entertaining. I find it very interesting, and I happen to think that a lot of this stuff that Elon says is true. So wherever it's worth, it's something that I ponder and I think about, and I'm sure a lot of other people do too. And it's stuff that really deserves not just somebody thinking, "No, this is just crazy," but it does consider serious thought. So anyway, I appreciate you listening, and hopefully it stimulated a little thought. Thank you very much.